Hi, guys. Welcome to Industrial Edits, the first ever podcast series of SCMS Noida. This is Aishi Sahu, and we have Akshay Jain today to co host with me the first episode of Industrial Edits in conversation with Miss Nancy Gulani, streaming now. Miss Nancy Gulani is the current director CTI Solutions at IHS Market. She's been a stalwart leader and the epitome of excellence over years. Over that time, she served in every renowned company holding remarkable designations. From being the Associate Director of Reference Data at IHS Market, to being the Assistant Vice President at Deutsche Bank International Operations, to being the Team Manager at Infosys India, and the list goes on and on and on. Her passion and dedication towards her work is inspiring in so many ways and is in itself a benchmark for all of the young aspirants in the field. Over to you, Akshat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present you Miss Nancy Gulani to speak on the topic financial technology and importance of quality management to cope with the uncertainties of a business in view of the ongoing pandemic. A very warm welcome, Miss Gulani. We are elated to have you with us. And following this, let's get started. So my first question for you, Ms. Kulani, is that as undergraduate students, we lack awareness regarding the meaning and the scope of financial technology. So kindly enlighten us on that and elaborate as to what is exactly financial technology all about. Over to you, Ms. Kulani.
Thank you guys for such a warm welcome. I have been working in the financial technology sector for at least about 6 years, and I've been working in the financial sector for more than a decade. And it had been smooth transition, I would say, because technology always interested me and finance was always my domain. So it seemed like a very interesting area to step into. And financial technology is an evolving segment in the economy. Let me give you a bit of idea about what financial technology is. Financial technology, or in short, we call it as fintech. It combines two disciplines, finance and technology. And financial technology essentially is about leveraging technology into the financial sector, but very, very simplistically. Of late, with an increase in the economic activity, it has played a very, very important role in making economic decisions. Outcomes have become agile and faster and much more efficient. To give you an idea about the scale, NASSCOM has predicted that this year in India financial technology sector is about $2.4 billion. And its growth rate is doubling. How financial technology affects our daily lives? Do you carry, how much money do you carry in your wallets now? I'm sure you use tools like the platforms like Paytm, Google Pay, Samsung Pay. It is all an outcome of what financial technology has done for us. Another good example will be how stock markets operate now. Earlier, if you were to buy a stock, you would look at a price, you would wait for a few days and see the price changing when you actually receive your stock or when you actually sell your stock. You could have made more gains or you could have made more losses. Now, financial technology has brought in a lot of predictability into that. Things happen much faster. A trade gets executed much, much faster. So there are various areas where we leverage financial technology. Would be mobile banking, like payment services that we talk of, trading platforms that we talk of, insurance, cryptocurrency, which I'm sure all of you would have heard about, has been a hot product. The investment applications that we use. Investments can happen at a click of a button. Emerging phenomena like crowdfunding. Financial technology companies leverage artificial intelligence, blockchain, and there are emerging terms and careers like data science, uh, that you would have heard about. As an industry, fintech has evolved rapidly. Um, so earlier when you had it started from credit cards to ATMs, and now getting into artificial intelligence, um, payments done in a few days. And what has enabled and what has made the growth faster is the availability of internet, smartphone revolution. Everybody has a smartphone these days. You could Paytm, you could just use a QR code. That's how it has touched all our lives, and it has actually disrupted the way we operate. So with financial technology, there are certain challenges that we face. One of the biggest challenges we also face is the the information security norms have to be tightened up. Government norms have to be very supportive. And another big one, which may all be of interest to you, is the availability of talent. That is a big challenge. We need people who understand finance, who understand technology trends, and they can blend the two. So some of the emerging careers that we see in the fintech sector would be product managers. So product manager essentially is a person who would understand the requirement of a client, bring to a fintech company, and help us convert that into a product. And then help the clients adopt that product into their current scheme or how they operate. There are also some non-technical areas like content writers, social media marketing people, specifically catering to the fintech sector. Then we also need salespeople. On the technology side, the kind of careers that you would have heard about and are very hot these days are data scientists. Data scientists would typically work towards uncovering the value from collected data towards various sources in order to customize the product that's being offered. Cloud management. This is an area where the cyber security and information security is an important aspect. Then we also need product engineers who understand the financial domain well, but are very, very focused on technology side. And we also need people who can and do designing of the front end of the product, how the app should look like, how what the interface should be for a customer, and because that's essentially what the customer looks at the end of the day. In fintech sector, there are also some traditional careers like strategy, operations, program management, taxation. Then there is legal and regulatory functions. Then knowledge and research analyst. At an undergraduate level, I would say there are universities which are now understanding the need and understanding that this is an evolving segment, and they are offering courses in the area of financial technology. Typically, the kind of people that we look out for are people who would have done something in the area of finance, management, economics, commerce, or engineering with a bent of mind towards finance.
Those were some great insights, Ms. Kulani. We are sure that would have added to the knowledge of our listeners. Now, my second question to you is that how do you think that in the current times has the factors such as cost optimization and quality management has become really crucial factors as a means to cope up with business uncertainties, especially with regards to the ongoing pandemic? Also, we would love to listen to something more about the relevance of the aforementioned with regards to Six Sigma.
So in post-COVID times, there is an increased pressure on organizations to optimize cost and produce outcomes which are high quality, which will also give them a competitive edge And those who are able to adapt and get that competitive edge will not just survive, but also emerge as winners in the global economic scenario. So that's why a focus on quality is paramount. Big way to minimize cost of quality is by maximizing outcome, um, and produce outcomes which are first time right. This brings in a greater predictability, it helps you reduce cost, and it gives you a competitive edge. In the service industry, it means that you are able to serve your customers, your clients faster and in a more efficient manner. In a manufacturing setup, it means you are able to produce products with lesser cost and high quality products. Some of the tools that organizations can leverage are Six Sigma that will help you reduce margins of errors. It will also help you improve efficiencies. It will help you reduce rework. Another important way is to leverage technology and automate repetitive tasks. So, leveraging Six Sigma tools, strategy, technology, and standardization of process, all this put together is a very, very potent combination. And a starting point here could be tools like Six Sigma, which will help you identify which are the areas that you would want to focus on first and maximize the outcome or the benefits. The Six Sigma will help you standardize the processes. It can help you identify what should be the benchmarks, what is the kind of errors that we're producing, and then also help you identify the solutions. You could also use lean philosophies that will help you identify the non-value adding tasks, identify repetitive tasks in the processes, and then they can be phased out and they can be taken out of the system to reduce the cost. Some of the other ways that can also be leveraged are optimizing the procurement, looking at where you're procuring from can make it more cost effective, and also looking at ways and means to improve productivity of your workforce. Eventually, it is all about ways to optimize, ways to look at the major factors which are contributing to increased costs, and looking at ways to cut it down. And that is what will give you that edge and help you sail through in COVID times and in the post-COVID times.
Those were some great insights, ma'am. And that brings us to the end of this episode. We would like to thank Ms. Nancy Gulani for her time and to share her wisdom with us. We had a great session with you, ma'am, and we want to thank you on behalf of all of our listeners. We also look forward to many more fruitful collaborations with you in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ms. Nancy Gulani in conversation with us. Stay tuned for her video message for us and the upcoming episodes of the podcast series.
I would like to thank to everyone who is listening to this. You have been a marvelous audience. This is Akshat Jain.
And this is Aishi Sahu signing off.